Hi everyone, how are you? Today we start to talk about motion in one direction. So let's start by knowing what does it mean to move. Look at the girl on the bicycle or the bird. You will easily notice that each of them is changing the position as the time passes. This is what movement means, is to change your position as time passes. Where can we see motion in our life? It's everywhere. Wherever you look, you will find motion. You can see cars are moving in the streets. You can see kids running in the garden. You can see birds and airplanes are flying in the skies. Can you think of something else? Now let's see, how many types of motion do we have? We have translational motion, we have rotational motion, we have periodic motion, and non-periodic motion. Moving in a straight line, it is considered the simplest type of motion. We have terms, definitions, and concepts that all are related to motion. We are going to study speed, velocity, distance, displacement, and acceleration. Let's first start with speed. What is speed? Speed is a physical quantity. What is a physical quantity? Look at the pictures in front of you. You will find length, mass, time, temperature, electric current, luminous intensity, and amount of substance. All of these quantities have one thing in common, which is they all have units, measuring units. So if I have a quantity that can be measured, this is called a physical quantity. Okay, now we know that speed is a physical quantity, but what do we need it for? Actually, we use speed to describe the motion of the object. If the object is moving fast or the object is moving slow. Take a look at the video. Speed is a physical quantity. It means that we can measure speed, we can calculate speed. How can we do that? It's easy. For example, if I tell you that my car can move with a speed up to 140 kilometers per hour, can you tell me what are the factors that control or affect the speed? What are the factors that I can use to calculate speed? It's easy to determine or define the factors affecting speed just by looking to the speed measuring unit. You will find something like meter per second, or kilometer per hour, or even kilometer per second if the object is moving with a very high speed. It's always distance and time, or distance over time. As we learned that speed is a physical quantity that describes the motion of the object, whether if it's slow or fast. Also, speed is the distance covered in a certain time. Knowing this definition of speed and knowing the measuring unit of speed, can we come up with a mathematical rule that we need to calculate speed? Take a look at this triangle. From this triangle, we can easily calculate speed. Speed equals distance over time. But this is not the only thing that we can calculate from this triangle. From this triangle, we can calculate speed. It's d over t, or distance over time. We can calculate distance, which is speed multiply time, and we can calculate time, which is distance over speed. One more thing before we start looking at mathematical problems of how to calculate speed. We need to know how to convert one speed measuring unit into another. For example, how to convert from kilometer per hour into meter per second, or vice versa, from meter per second into kilometer per hour. In order to convert one speed measuring unit to another, we need to know that if we want to convert from kilometer per hour into meter per second, we need to divide by 3.6. And of course, vice versa. If we want to convert from meter per second into kilometer per hour, we will take the numerical value of the meter per second, multiply in 3.6. Okay, this is all you need to solve your mathematical problem, but we need to know how did we get this 3.6 and why sometimes we divide and other times we multiply. To know that, actually, it's very easy. We need to remember the basics. For example, 1 meter per second equals 1 over 1,000 kilometer. 1 second means 1 over 60 times 60 hour. 60 times 60. 1 hour has 60 minutes and each minute has 60 seconds. And 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meter and 1 hour equals 360 seconds. 60 times 60, of course. Okay, let's have an example. Let's convert 1.2 kilometer per hour into meter per second. So this is 1.2 kilometer per hour. 1 kilometer over 1 hour. Okay, so I need to convert kilometer into meter. And we agreed that each kilometer equals 1,000 meter. And each hour contains 60 times 60 seconds. So it's 1.2 times 1,000 meters divided by 60 times 60 equals 1.2 times 1,000 divided by 3,600. It's 1.2 times 10 over 36. It's the same if we say that it equals 1.2 divided by 36 over 10. We just flipped the fraction. So it's 1.2 divided by 3.6. So if we want to convert from kilometer per hour into meter per second, we will take the numerical value of the kilometer per hour, which is in this case 1.2, and divided by 3.6. Let's take a look on another example where we will convert from meter per second into kilometer per hour. So if we want to convert 72 meter per second into how much kilometers per hour? So 72, 1 meter divided by 1 second equals 72. I need to convert from meter to kilometer. As we see, 1 meter equals 1 over 1,000 kilometers. So I replace the 1 meter by 1 over 1,000 kilometers. And I replace the 1 second by 1 over 60 times 60 to convert it into hour. Okay, equals 72. This is 1 over 3,600. So we will put it here, and over 1,000 equals 72 times 3.6. Well, this problem is a very easy problem. Step number 1, to solve a problem, any mathematical problem, we need to remember the rule. What is the rule that we need to follow? Okay, we have this triangle that contains speed, distance, and time. So whatever the variable we need to calculate, we will be able to calculate it easily from this triangle. Now let's step number 2. Step number 2 is to see what kind of data or information is given to us in the mathematical problem. We will find that we are given the speed, which is 640 kilometers per hour. The distance covered is 1,920 kilometers, and we need to calculate time. So from the triangle, time equals distance over speed, or d over s. So t equals D over S equals 1920 over 640 equals 3 hours. In problem number 2, we need to calculate the speed. From the triangle, we can see that speed equals distance over time. Okay, as we agreed in step number 2, we need to write the data or the information given to us in the problem. So I need to calculate the speed. I'm giving the distance 22.5 kilometers, and I'm being given time 5 hours. In this problem, we need to calculate speed in kilometer per hour and in meter per second. Of course, since the distance is given in kilometer and the time is given in hours, so this is the first thing we are going to get, speed in kilometer per hour. So speed equals distance over time. Distance 22.5 divided by 5, which is the time, 4.5 kilometer per hour. So we get the first thing, which is speed in kilometer per hour. Now we need to calculate this speed in meter per second. It's easy, we agreed that if I want to convert from kilometer per hour into meter per second, I will take the numerical value of the kilometer per hour divided by 3.6 equals 1.25 meter per second. That was it for today. I hope you like this video, and I hope I see you soon. Bye.